How you doing, everybody? Welcome. It's the 15th of August. It's the Bon holiday. You can see officially from Sunday, August 13th to Wednesday, August 16th. That means we're still in the Bon holiday here in Japan, and tomorrow will be the day that everybody starts to return. The 17th, everybody goes back to work. The good thing about this typhoon coming now, if there was a good thing about any typhoon, was that most people were off and didn't have to go to work, so there wasn't a pressure to feel like you had to go to the office. Now, you have a more of a challenge, I guess, because this is the time where everybody actually goes back to their hometown and travels. This is the first time back after the pandemic, so it's a lot busier than normal, coupled with all the other international tourists that are here. We had something of a perfect storm. What made this typhoon in particular quite challenging, and here I'm going to put it up on the map here. This is last night. You could see the eye of the storm just looked pretty darn scary when it was coming in. The thing that was challenging about this typhoon is that it's moving so slow. It is moving at the speed of a bicycle coming in. It's like at 10, 15 kilometers per hour coming in, and that's not very far. That's what I can do in my bicycle. So we can play this again here. So you can see it's moving quite slowly, and when it moves slowly like this also means that a lot of rain is going to fall. You have a boat chugging by underneath there. A lot of rain is going to fall in one spot, and that creates a lot of other challenges. I've got a graph here that I got from NHK that sort of highlights this. What happens is that you get landslides on the top left. The top right is you have flooding. The bottom left, you have flash flooding. In particular, these canals or waterways. The mountains will collect all that water, and very quickly it'll start to overspill, take over bridges, and wipe away cars, and sometimes getting into houses. And the third one is tidal waves from the storm surge, which is possible on the coastal cities, especially in Wakayama, Kochi, Shikoku, things like this. So these three things make typhoons more dangerous. And thanks to NHK for making that. And that's something you should be thinking about if you're out hiking, you're out in the countryside, your hotel's on the side of a hill. Landslides are an issue everywhere around Japan. A lot of rain creates some scary looking landslides. I should have downloaded the Atami landslide of a few years ago. It's horrifying what that one happened. They could happen with earthquakes too. Earthquakes also loosen the ground, so you have typhoon and an earthquake, and you have a big mess. That right now it's cutting through the center of Japan. This is the latest from 1:35 p.m., just about 20 minutes ago. The satellite, you can see it is hitting now the strongest winds. The eye is somewhere in Osaka, or just passing Osaka, in Kyoto Prefecture. It's like Kyoto's not just a city, it's also a prefecture, maybe near Maizuru. And you can see it's definitely staying away from Daisen. Mount Daisen is on the left side of the red, the heavy rain. Daisen is the highest mountain, and it protects Yonago City from typhoons, and in this case, it kind of did. That's also where that crazy, terrifying bridge, roller coaster bridge is in that area. But it's now going out to the Sea of Japan slowly, which is creating a lot of problems in the countryside. We're not going to see that for a while, I think. Because it's the Obon holiday, we're not getting a lot of reports as usual on the news. It's just a little bit slower to get the information as a result of it. Also, because trains are delayed, roadways are delayed. Local news is depending on social media posts and feedback from people that are in areas, which is always accurate when we get out there. But that's a storm right now in its current state. So if you are in Kyoto and Kyoto and Osaka, let me get rid of this. That's what you right now. You're probably not having a great time. But if you're in Tokyo, it's not too bad. Tokyo's not too bad. There's some wind. You can see the clouds moving by. But if you look at the sky, it's blue. And that's always good. You even have a view from the Tokyo Skytree, which is crazy. I was expecting this to be completely covered in clouds. But there was a high pressure system that was also sticking around that forced the typhoon to go more westward. So Tokyo ended up not being hit very hard. There was some wind last night, a little bit of rain, but nothing like it was. I couldn't even hear the rain, but I had friends tell me that it had rained a little bit, but nothing like it missed Tokyo pretty much. So everybody in the area can sigh a breath of relief, but you just cannot tell. You cannot tell with storms which direction they're going to go, in particular when they're moving that slow. This is the scene, and I think this is really significant. I came back from Tokyo. There's not a lot of people in the station. I thought there would be more. That was yesterday. I thought there'd be more people at Tokyo Station. A TV camera had filmed me coming out from Nagoya. From Nagoya, there weren't a lot of people that got on the train. So my assistant Emmy and I were coming back from the shoot in Hiroshima, where I was making an episode on the atomic bombing down there. I was interviewing a survivor. Fantastic story, by the way. She's like my hero. After listening to it, it's like I could have spoke with her for days about other things besides about what happened in 1945. But when we're coming back from it, and there was an urgency to do it, from Hiroshima to about Kyoto, from Hiroshima to Tokyo, Osaka, the train was very full. From Osaka to Nagoya, the people just started getting less and less, and I didn't expect it. I thought it would be more crowded, but people were just staying put. And from Nagoya back to Tokyo, the train was 70% empty, which is weird. All right, because when I was going to Hiroshima, people were standing, which it's hard to understand, but people heeded the warning and they're serious about it. You just cannot tell. So the loss of life is going to be almost maybe zero. Who knows? Somebody always, gets injured in a typhoon, no matter what. But a loss of almost no loss of life would be a huge thing here. Konami is the game maker. I guess they have an office here. Yeah, so that's the update here. I don't want to get too much into it. I don't want to spend a lot of time on it. I think this is the view. This is the last thing I want to show you, and I'll answer some questions. I'll go over some of the questions that I had in the last one here. This is the view from Shin Osaka Station. I'm just arriving. Look at the sky. Look at the sky. And this is the Umeda Sky Building. Ironically, you're going to see that coming to view. It just looks ominous, doesn't it? Like the whole weather is coming down hard on Osaka. And this is the Shinkansen tracks. I'm pulling into Shin Osaka like 2-3 minutes after this. I was glad that I left Hiroshima at the right time. I believe this morning trains were suspended from Shin Osaka, but the ones going up to Tohoku were in service. Yahoo News published a list of some of the lines that are closed in the Kansai region, and there were about 16 of them, including the Sannin area in Tottori and Shimane. They're also shut down or suspended, just as a precautions as this storm starts to head to the Sea of Japan and curve its way up, going towards between Korea and Japan, and eventually hitting Sakhalin on the west coast of Hokkaido, and the Sakhalin being Russia on the very north of Hokkaido. There's the Umeda Sky Building with the clouds there. I'm sure it's seen worse, but it's not easy. It's not easy going through a typhoon. Osaka's had some bad typhoons over the last few years, so they're used to it. But you can't really ever be used to it. They hit. You don't know how strong it's going to be. You don't know how the winds are going to react. There's a lot of construction that's been going on too, so that's always a concern. So during the typhoon season, they don't do as much construction. That's maybe why in the winter they're doing more construction, because there's less chance of a typhoon rolling through. More long-term construction seems to be gets done in the winter than it does in the summer. All right, some of the questions that you might have. I'm going back to the live stream that I did 3 days ago. This was about 800 kilometers off the coast. That's how slow it moved. If I come in September, will my flight be canceled? I don't know. I don't know if your flight is canceled or not. You're gonna have to talk with the airline, and I say be patient and continue to watch the news. I would say like Tokyo is pretty much like Florida in the sense that we get hit with typhoons like Florida gets hit with hurricanes. Hurricanes originating in the Atlantic Ocean, typhoons originating in the Pacific Ocean, cyclones originating in the Indian Ocean. So now you know the difference between the three. So when the news calls a typhoon a cyclone, that's you definitely in the Western news from somebody writing from the Atlantic side of the United States, all right? So typhoons originate in the Pacific Ocean. Now it could originate in the Indian Ocean and wrap around into the Pacific, then it is perhaps a cyclone. I don't know. I think Indonesia, if Satrio is here, Indonesia might get hit with both cyclones and typhoons, but I think that the typhoons typically come north, so I'm not sure. There you go. Cyclones originate in the Pacific too. Okay, perhaps maybe it's a South Pacific thing, I don't know. But I've never heard of a cyclone that hit Japan, at least not reported in Japan. They're always called typhoons. Even if it's a cyclone, then I guess cyclone is, in other words, a generic term. Every storm that has hit the India, for example, is a cyclone. So let's put it like that. Every storm that I've ever seen hit India, and India does get hit with storms that originates on the west of Australia and in the Indian Ocean. When they get hit, they call it a cyclone. So I think it was the Weather Channel that I learned this from. I don't know. But those are basically every storm that hits Japan is a typhoon. That's what we call them here. Cyclones have one eye. Whatever. All right. Never mind about that. It's true, though. It's true. Cyclops, cyclone, cycle, bicycle, bicycle. Okay, I get it. But let's just stick with the definitions here. A typhoon is what we called it in Japan. All right? End of story. You don't call a cyclone a hurricane. I've never heard a cyclone being called a hurricane. But in India, I hear them called cyclones every time. So I'm going to stick with that. If you're coming to Japan, I'm just going to reiterate. The end of June, there's a possibility of a typhoon. Just keep an eye on the weather. That's all you got to do. You don't have to panic. July, August, September, and in particular October, typhoons can hit often, and they could hit any part of Japan. They could be weak, tropical depressions, just bring a lot of rain, or they can be strong, like this one and the one that rammed through Okinawa and then came back again for more. I'm laughing because it's not supposed to do that. But that's the point. You can't predict the weather, so it is up to you. You! I'm just giving you information that you need to know. But I can't give personalized information unless you're on Patreon, the sponsor of today's episode. This month's postcard comes from the Buddha Clean at Todaiji in Nara. I was there with the media to get a chance to watch, I think there are about 200 people there cleaning the great Daibutsu of Nara. And this postcard will be sent to you by supporting me and the show on Patreon. And on Patreon, you get a chance to meet Emmy, who is my assistant, who is also working really hard. And thank you, Patreon. Just helps me to set up so much of the shoots that I do. These postcards are going out tomorrow, by the way, when Obon finishes, so they're going to be on the way. I just shot that last week too. It moves pretty fast. The typhoon, it never really hit here, and again, for those of you that left early, probably a smart choice. You just cannot make that. But the advice that I gave you before stands. You don't have to work too much in June, but I would say July, August, September, and October. If you need to be back on the day, go back a day early so that you can have a rest day or a possible typhoon day where your flight is canceled. Typhoons don't stick around for more than a day, so the flight is only going to be suspended for a day, and you'll be able to get a flight the next day, most likely. So you have a safety day. I would go back if you have to get back on that day. Now, if your day is extended by another day and you can call off of work because you're trapped in a typhoon, all the power to you. You get another day in Japan. November, there are just like June, there's a possibility of a typhoon in November. There's a possibility of a typhoon even in January, okay? They just don't happen very often, or they don't come up here because the waters are colder. They don't survive. It's like going where there's no food. Humans don't go there. So the November chance, we had a, what was it, Hagrid. There was a typhoon in 2019 that hit really hard in November. I don't know if you guys remember that. It created hell in Nagano with flooding. That was where the Shinkansens were flooded. I did there's a town in Nagano that was flooded just off of the side of a little village in the city of Nagano. And we did a fireworks project in 2021. Or was it 2022? 2021 to help support them. So I think there was about 700 people who backed a Kickstarter to shoot up fireworks in this town. We put all the money to help one of the local fireworks makers to use some of the fireworks that they were making and make some shakudama. We also threw some money gave some money to Yamanashi to shoot up some shakudama, which are these number 10 size shells. And we had, what was it, like 15 people sponsor the shells, which is awesome, including Night Wolf, who sponsored a star mine, which was like a double star mine or something. It was one of the most beautiful fireworks made with the original charcoal color from the Edo period. And, you know, that's all as a result of a typhoon. So we take it quite seriously here in Japan. That's why there's almost, when you look at like Bangladesh and a typhoon hits, you have thousands of people, millions go homeless, thousands can be, lose their lives in it. In Japan, we have like 1 or 2 souls lost, and it's because of the preparing and the seriousness in which we take it, because we've seen it too many times before. So there you have it. If you're traveling in November, just keep an eye on the weather. You know if a typhoon is incoming because you'll see it in the Pacific. But everybody should have that bookmark: July, August, September, and October. Just look for the typhoons to give you an idea of whether or not perhaps you should change your flight. It's a high possibility. I had a flight canceled. I was supposed to be in Kagoshima a few days ago, but the other typhoon canceled my flight there and back. So I had to, I knew that the flight was going to be canceled. It was obvious, but they wouldn't refund my money. Skymark. JAL refunded my money with a 1,000 yen charge, and if I waited, I would have gotten it for free. I said, you know what? I just want to cancel because it's a pain in the neck. Skymark wanted like 5,500 yen, and they would have canceled the flight, or it's free if I waited. So I waited, and they canceled the flight, and I got the cancellation for free. So just a little heads up with booking flights. Some of the low-cost carriers are really not nice. And it's hard to get them on the phone. You have to do everything by internet, or you're going to wait for an hour, which is basically every U.S. carrier, I think, unless you have a platinum card. John's too woke for me. How so? How can I be woke? I'm anti-woke, man. Hardly get any sleep. I was not awoke last night. I'm too woke, meaning like what? I did have 2 cups of coffee this morning. I don't know what you guys are referring to. I'm not confused. I am a little sleepy though. Yeah, so there you go. And if you have any questions about it, leave it in the comments below. I don't know, someone said I was woke. I'm like, what? Leave in the comments below, and I will answer them as much as I can. Or the community will. Go to Discord. We've got people that are visiting here in Japan. We've got 13,000 people on our Discord server, and people have been talking back and forth about what to do, accommodations, helping each other, and that's what I kind of envision for the Discord server. So if you are traveling in Japan, or you're a resident in Japan, we have an expat group there as well. If you're a Patreon supporter, we have a smaller group there. So you can talk about where if the postcard arrived, or what stamp you got, because I usually will pick cool 84 yen stamps, which are always pretty unique compared to the other ones. So it's a good community on Discord, where it's similar like the Thorn Tree of Lonely Planet 20 years ago, if you guys ever used that, where people that are on the road can talk to each other more quickly than if you were to be, I don't know, like bumping into people at a guest house, and that's sort of a cool thing with Discord. Never term woke should never have been invented. It's a target for everything. I don't worry about it. If someone calls you a name, don't worry about it. You don't know them. Chances are they're wrong. But there's also a chance that they might be right. In the end, you just have to, someone calls you a name, you shrug your shoulders, smile, don't say anything, and just move on. Nobody cares. You're the person that, if you show that you care too, by the way, it makes it just worse. So, I got bigger problems than someone calling me a name. Must be the current American. Yeah, it's something going on in the U.S. It might be a problem, it might not. I don't know. I live here, so there you go. It's not something we talk about, and you know what? Politics is not something that we should focus on 24/7. Turn off the TV news. Turn on YouTube. Travel. Look at this. Skytree. It's pretty cool. This is TV. Do hit the like button and leave me a comment. You can let me know where you're watching from. If you are in Japan, you can comment and share your experience. In particular, if you are in Kyoto, what's it like being in the typhoon? If it's your first time, what went well for you and what didn't go well for you? I'd like to hear from you, and I think everybody would. And I'll pin that comment to the top if there's a good one that I think everyone should read. The bus tour to Niigata, that's something I'm doing for the Mega Shell Fireworks Festivals. I'm working with a friend of mine, Ide-san, who was part of the Japan Fireworks Association. She's the one who's coordinating everything. Because she knows everybody there, it makes it so much easier. And we have, I think, 16 people. We're past the halfway mark, but we only have about 3 days to go. So if you're on the fence, you can leave me a comment, write to me, or I believe we're accepting credit cards now. I didn't know that Ide-san was going to do like international wire transfers. They're quite complicated. So I said, let's get a credit card option. So I believe we have that now. There might have been some issues now, but you have to have people pay by credit card. It's just so much easier. It's like international criminals use wire transfer, like transfers of $10,000 or more or something. This is just a few $100 or something. What is it? I think it's 77,000 yen with the tax. So I don't want anyone paying international transfer fees if we don't have to. So there's a credit card option. And if you didn't get a notice and you did sign up originally, just send me an email and I'll respond to you. You should have gotten it by now. But I think we have 15, 16 people signed up now, and my goal is 30. But if we get 20, we're gonna have a pretty happy and very relaxed bus tour, which is perfect. Yeah. All right, questions. I'm in Tokyo right now. Was supposed to be in Osaka, but I canceled that plan as a typhoon was coming there. Pretty smart. I don't think it would have been a really hard day in the rain to be trapped in Osaka right now, but it seems like it's starting to pass there, and you're probably going to be able to go tomorrow. Mombasa, Kenya. Wow. I've been to Kenya in 2001. It was a while ago. Beautiful place. Nairobi was a little scary though. A little scary. Some parts. When is lunch in Ginza again? Irvin, let me know. I've been away a lot though. Wow, Qatar, awesome. We got some viewers from all over the place. When are you going to start to sell the Katakai fireworks happy? Satrio, because we have less people going, there's not going to be that many, but I will get in touch with you directly because I know this is something you're quite interested in. And quite frankly, I'm probably going to make another set of happy as well, because I think that they're pretty cool looking, because I have one now from the last fireworks project. So, but I'll be in touch with you. I'll try to save one for you. What English weather news can I follow? I'm here if I'm there. Asahi Shimbun has an English newspaper. Kyoto News, Kyodo, has been a pretty good source of news. I think even Sankei Shimbun, Sankei newspaper, Sankei, has an English news. But I know Asahi newspaper has an English news. The Japan Times usually has a paywall after a couple of articles. but and I'm not a huge fan of their reporting, but they're there for over 100 years and have a long history, and yeah, some people I know support them. It's good that they're around, let's just say. I'm glad that they're there. There's also a Tokyo Weekender for magazines. Tokyo Cheapo is, that they're one of my friends. I've known the founders of the company for a decade, more than a decade, so I go with them. Raymond Centeno, did I hear Happy Codes for sale, Raymond? All right, I'll make about 10 extra because I think I know who's gonna buy them. I'll see Brandy maybe can bring one back for you know who. So I'll maybe get an extra one. Yeah. You look like Ralph Macchio. I look better than Ralph Macchio because I'm younger, barely. Ralph looks good. Ralph looks good. Yeah, 1984 for me was not my happy time. I walked down the hallway and kids would be doing like crane kick stances. What was I gonna do? Kick back? If they already doing the crane kick, then that was my move. So how do you counter that? Miyagi stopped making movies, so had to bring in that little drum. It's hard. Anyways, it is hot. Another typhoon could be on its way. I don't know. So if you're asking me for advice on your, I get about, I think I responded to about 50 Instagram, Patreon, and messages, some to my email. And I tried to respond the best that I could, but I don't know if your trip's gonna be canceled in October. I can't tell you if your flight is safe from Narita. We don't know which direction the typhoon is going. I can tell you, be informed, be an informed traveler and look at the weather between those months and you won't have any problems. And maybe have a ticket that allows you to change the date. Having that flexibility can be quite useful if you need to get home at a certain time, and consider maybe leaving a day early and coming back a day late. Coming back a day early so that you have that 1 day buffer in case your flight does get canceled. Then you won't be late for work. Don't want to see you get fired just because you decided to come to Japan. Land of typhoons, earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, landslides, flash floods, and really strict people who follow the rules. It's a true story. I got stories to tell you another time. Tell everything one. Teach me some small Japanese. No. I dodged 5 typhoons. Makes it sound like it was a physical event. Yeah, and a shout out to Maui. We did this last time, but all of you who are watching the news, we are following that here in Japan. We know what's going on, and it's tragic because Japan and Hawaii and Maui, the islands, have a very strong connection, and we're hurting as well here. There's a lot of Japanese Americans and Japanese that are in Maui as well. You don't ask people their age. I'm not 69. Who wrote that? Moderators? Hold on, 96, all right. Of course I'm not 96. When is typhoon season usually? Did you not hear me? Do we have that? How many times are you supposed to do it? Do I have that graphic here? I'm not sure. I don't see it. Here's the rainfall right now. This is about 20 minutes ago. You can see they're getting nailed in Kyoto Prefecture right now. Totori, Hyogo, that's north of Kobe. You can see, for me, I can see Japan clearly. Osaka would be on the bottom right. You can see there's like a scrunchie. That's Osaka port, and they're still getting hit with some rain right now, probably high winds. But a lot of the water right now in the countryside, and that's where there's a lot of landslides happen. So really, let's hope that everyone's going to be okay. Luckily, these are not highly populated areas. That area is probably Tajima. I hitchhiked through these areas, so I know them quite well. Tajima, like Totori City up north there, Maizuru, which is in Kyoto Prefecture. It's a port city. Probably Fukui is going to start getting hit as it makes its way up. And these are areas that are have a lot of abandoned houses, a low population, many older people, and it's worrying when this goes here. Alminox writes in here from Denmark. Wow. I keep seeing this Australian YouTuber popping up every now and again making horrendous claims. Oh, I know who that person is. Yeah, let him do it. No one's watching him, so. And there's a reason why. Why are you watching that anyways? There are hundreds of really nasty people out there. You don't, that's the life of it. Yeah, it's called life. Let him. We know who he is. This is that I saw him at the Sapporo Snow Festival, and we're really nice. So if he's saying anything mean, I can't understand why. My wife said hi to him. I gave him a "You Found Me" card. I even plugged his channel. We're very, very civil, very nice to him. I can't figure it out. So some people will. Let me put it to you like this: in this industry, some people will bash you to make money, and to get attention. Some people just didn't get hugged by their parents. They have issues, mental problems. It's actually a serious thing. So leave them alone, and let people have issues in their lives. And before you yell back at somebody that's being stupid, maybe it's better just to walk away. All right? And this is somebody who is probably younger than this person, who should know a lot better. Just walk away, because they probably have mental problems, and at a moment's notice they could, some people could be violent. It's not, everyone has different issues going on in their lives. I do too. I know that. I feel it. And it's very complicated. That's why road rage, some people will lash out. You just, unless you're, an angry person by nature, you have to let it go and just understand people got other things. Let it go if you can. Sometimes you can't. And then, they go away. Turn your back and walk away. It's not worth it. Well, because you have issues going on in your life, that does not give you the right to attack others. Absolutely, you're right. You don't have the right to attack others, because that's really awful, but people do in this society, and you have to learn to walk away. I've been attacked as much or more so than anybody else, and I've had stalkers as well. I would walk right past a police station, walk in there and say, there's a person that's been following me for a little bit. The police officer will pop his head out, and that person would walk away. I'd stay there for a couple of minutes. I'd probably talk about baseball or something with the officer, who was probably happy to have a little bit of a distraction. I'd look out there, nobody there, and I'd walk home, because I don't want this person to see where I live. Or walk in a different direction, because I've watched too many spy movies, make sure there's no tail, and then I'll walk home. Yeah, but but you don't have the right to attack anybody, but at the same time, you have to be the adult sometimes and understand that you don't make things better by fighting back either. There are times to pick a fight, and there are times to walk away. And the times to pick a fight are maybe 1% of those 99. 1 out of every 100, where it's basically self-defense. In Japan, this is a country that avoids confrontation. Nobody will shove you and try to instigate a fight. That's Japanese. And if they do, that's like a very rare situation. Just walk away. Nobody wants confrontation in Japan. I've now been here in this country so long, I'm the same way. You won't see me getting in a fist fight. It's just not worth it. I'll be the one that doesn't get deported. I'll be the one that doesn't spend 4 days in police custody as they question me. I'll be the one, at home, eating a pizza, get back to work, or something like that. So there you go. Greetings from India. Would you recommend traveling around Kyoto in buses or trains? I'm going there in October. Sure. Kyoto's So Kyoto is a prefecture. Are you talking about the prefecture? I'm guessing that you're not. So Kyoto is a prefecture, and Kyoto Prefecture, the subway is not very comprehensive. You pretty much need an all-in-one pass, right? And if you get that, you shouldn't have any problems. I'll tell you this, you can ride a bicycle to a lot of places in Kyoto. There's a lot of traffic. It's not made for bicycling. Kyoto is actually a city. You figure that out really quickly. You can walk to a lot of places as well. You can walk from Tokyo Station to Gion, for example, or walk from Kyoto Station to Gion, Kyoto Station to Kiyomizudera, or to Ninenzaka. Maybe not to Arashiyama. You probably need to take a train, and then you can walk places. Public transportation, because there's a lot of traffic in Kyoto, the buses get congested quite a bit. I don't know. It's a tough call. That's why I don't like Kyoto, though. I'm not a Kyoto guy. I've been there. I don't need to go back there anymore. I'm done. Kyoto. Unless, I don't know. I'd rather go to Shiga or to Fukui or to, Mie, one of the surrounding prefectures, Hyogo, than I would to Kyoto City. Or go to Kyoto Prefecture, and there's some onsen up there, It's nice. Almond Oxide in here. Okay. Really? All right. I'm sorry to hear that. Well, thank you for that. I don't want to give any more attention to a person who is toxic, so thank you. Not at all. Not at all. No need to apologize. Look, I've been doing this for a long, long time. I've been doing TV since 2008, and I've been doing YouTube since 2012, 13. So quite a long time. Nothing bothers me. Now, when you have a really good community of people, why would you ever be bothered by one or two? Love is where it's at. It's true. Stay positive, and anybody who is... This is advice that I've learned in my life. Half of my life here in Japan, half of my life in the one thing that I've learned, this could save your own life. I'm serious. We all have friends in our lives, family as well. And some of them, usually a small portion, are toxic people. They're cancerous to you. They hold you down and hold you back. And I know you can't separate yourself from family. Sometimes maybe that's the best option, but you can from your friends that are toxic. And if you have toxic people that are keeping you back, holding you back, filling your head with negative thoughts, just negative people in general, they're not your friends. They're actually your enemy, and you separate yourself from them. So you can hang out with people that you don't agree with. Most of the people I hang out with, they don't perfectly agree with me. In fact, I prefer if they don't agree with me. It's more interesting. But they're positive people, and they're people that inspire me, encourage me. And I'm somebody that didn't have very high confidence when I came to Japan. I got it when I came here because my perception of the world's changed. I took the good things from the US and I took the good things with Japan, and I think that I kind of made a hybrid out of it, and I've been pretty happy. And that's why most of the time I'm pretty positive. And also because I don't have toxic people in my life, and I'm able to cut them out, including people that are in the chat. You can just cut it out. If you're not positive, then what do you, if you have nothing positive to say, keep it to yourself. I follow that rule most of the time too. It's pretty simple. And it can save your life because you get in a rut if you're surrounded by negative people that bring you down, and you start to, it really does, it's like marketing. It really sticks to you, and it's hard to get out of your head. And you start doing the bad habits and doing these things, and you start to listen to them so much. If everybody is so negative on the opposite political party, for example, they're not your friends. First of all, stop talking about politics. Talk about anything else. That's not the only thing that's happening in the world. Talk about the things that are in your community. Go volunteer. Spend your free time helping people. Do something that's positive or beneficial. But stay away from complainers. Stay away from people that are always bothered by something political or something that's going on in the world. The news, it's just too negative as it is. That's why I love live streaming. We talk about what we want to talk about. Well, I talk about what I want to talk about. But I bring you with me. And it's anything but politics and news and negative stuff. It's all positive. Well, this typhoon was not a good start. But the typhoon ends, and then there's sunshine and beautiful skies. But that's the point, okay? So no need to apologize. I want you to understand right now, that's where I always come from. And anybody who is a detractor of mine, please rewind the last 2 minutes and try to figure out why. Maybe I don't like you because you're a negative person or you're toxic, all right? It's not because, that's probably the only reason. I stay away from toxic people. I appreciate it, guys. I'm sorry, I didn't want to talk about it, but Hi, John. Hope you're doing well. I just tuned in and I think I missed the information on the Typhoon. Sure, I can recap. Absolutely, Amy. Thank you. So to recap for the people that are here, here's where the Typhoon is right now. I'll put down the screen. This was about 40 minutes ago. It is past Osaka, but Osaka's on the back end of it. And it's now looks like it's in Kyoto Prefecture and Hyogo, where it looks like Tajima is getting hit really hard. That's where the Wagyu comes from. Is that Michael Sasaki? How you doing? Just a quick break here as a spaceboat passes underneath here. How could I have to show this. It's obligatory. Tokyo did not get hit. We got a little bit of rain. It was influenced slightly, but the sky, Amy, looks like this. The typhoon veered west or to the left because of a high pressure system that was also sticking around. And it just itched over to the left. It's moving extremely slow, the same pace as a bicyclist, which is causing problems, heavy rains. The forecast and the path right here. Right now, as you can see, the epicenter, this was about an hour ago. It's over Awaji Island, which is in Hyogo Prefecture, and Kobe. And also very much impacting the Osaka port and going to Wakayama. Hiroshima is also in the influence of it, as far north. Nagoya is not getting hit, but Mie, Yokkaichi looks like it's getting more impacted, which is close to Nagoya. Wakayama. Yeah, Nagoya is sort of getting impacted. My train went through there and I saw blue skies where Osaka looked like this. Okay, Osaka looked like this. Let me bring this back up here. So this is yesterday at about 4:30 p.m. And this ominous looking cloud over the Umeda Sky Building in Osaka. This is what it looked like. And I was, at this point, I was glad that I had gotten out. This is just the start of it because it's moving so slowly. Maybe the first band was starting to hit as my Shinkansen passed through. When I got to Tokyo about 3 hours later, 2.5 hours later, there were TV cameras in Tokyo Station and nobody was coming out. The train was almost empty at Shin Yokohama coming into Tokyo. Most people had just stayed put. But yeah, I had my eye on the weather report, so I knew that it was going to be fine. I was able to get a taxi in Tokyo at Tokyo Station and get home before any rains or winds happened. The taxi driver said that I was lucky. I feel lucky. But one of the dangers that probably experiencing right now, just to reiterate and recap, top left hand you have landslides, top right you have floods, bottom left you have flash flooding in the canals in particular. These a lot of it is made out of cement, so they don't what is it? With the soil, rich in soil. I forget the word. I studied in geology. And then there's tidal waves or tidal surges that happen as a result of the storm. When the soil erodes, erosion, that's the word. Yeah. And here's Tokyo Station yesterday. Not a lot of people. This is the time, this is the video that I took. This is the time that would be a lot more high traffic in the Bon holiday, but very few people riding the Shinkansen at all. So that's the situation. And the Bon holiday, you can see right now, goes on until tomorrow. And it should be a lot of people getting onto the trains right now, tonight, and then tomorrow. But the typhoon probably will have passed. Anyone going to the Hyogo, Kyoto, Osaka area, probably going to stay put for a while. There you go, Amy. I appreciate it. This is a live view of Sumida River. Gimby Lee writes it here, is renting kimono in Asakusa or Asakusa as tourists okay? Yes. Or do locals consider it cringy, disrespectful? No. Thinking about renting a pair during my trip? Please do. Japanese will also wear it during. I'm glad you asked this one. I should make an episode on this. Actually, this would be great to go to Asakusa or Asakusa and talk to some of the tourists and ask them how they feel wearing a kimono and why they decided that color. I would love to know, actually. But we think it's really nice, and it gives it more of a festive feel. But I want you to point this out to Western tourists. If you see people that look Japanese that have kimono walking around, 9 times out of 10, they're from Korea, China, Hong Kong, or even Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia to lesser extents, and even the Philippines. I've seen Western tourists stop people and ask them to take a picture thinking that they're Japanese and they're tourists, and that's fine. Actually, I like to see that. I don't laugh. Never laugh at some, well, I do sometimes because tourists can be funny. But never laugh because people are having fun and you're on your vacation and you should have it. I've worn kimono as well. In Kanazawa was the last time, and it's kind of cool, you know. You want to have fun, and the pictures are awesome. So I think it's a good idea to do it and to try it. In the summer, people wear yukata in Japan for the fireworks festivals or festivals in general. Men can wear something called a jinbei, which is like shorts and what looks like a hapi, like a top to the jinbei, which is just the upper part of the jinbei. I like to wear those too. The older I get, the more it's like I can't be bothered with yukata because they're harder to wear. Jinbeis are so comfortable. And you'll still see some old timers from the Showa period wearing jinbei all the way up until like October in the countryside. Those are the cool dudes wearing the wicker hats and the jinbei. That's real Japanese style right there. I might be one of those guys in a couple of years. I'll be getting into my 50s soon. So I might be a jinbei guy. Why not? It's just cool. Yeah. Why not? Thanks for that question. That was cool, Gimpy Lee. Let's see if I can do that. I'll see if I can go to Asakusa and talk that. And Michael, if I missed your question, I got it here. Better late than never. Please keep safe. Michael, I'll see if I can get a happy made from you and get that to Brandy, who's going to be here for the fireworks festival, because I can't imagine her coming home without having a second happy for our friend Michael. So thank you always. Daddy attire. Yes. If I was Leo, I would want my dad to embarrass me by wearing a jinbei as a foreigner walking around Tokyo with a wicker hat. Yes. That's the kind of cool dad that I want to embarrass my son with. Probably grow a mustache too to really put icing on the cake. I will live my life to try to embarrass my son in his high school years, to bring laughter and joy to the misery that he will be suffering. No, this is gonna be fun. We're just getting started too. Leo's only 2.5, and I'm already planning his high school years. Ai, which is one of Leo's first words. Lamo, which is laugh my A off. We're gonna buy a jinbei. Uniqlo, Mujirushi, Amazon.co.jp, which can be delivered to your hotel in 24 hours, sometimes less. Those are places to start. All you have to do is write in jinbei and Amazon.co.jp and you'll find some styles. Just remember the sizes might be a little bit, you might want to go one size up because Japanese sizes are typically, the shoulders are a little bit narrower for Westerners. I'm actually a large, but it's so hard. This is supposed to be a 10-minute update. You guys keep giving me super chats and also really asking good questions. All right, I should just do a free, Q&A then. We're Japanese sizes for clothes. I'm a medium in the U.S. I used to be extra large in college in 1993. When I went to buy an Abercrombie & Fitch shirt, which was different in 1992, trust me, it was different. It was an Ohio thing, all right, Abercrombie. I don't even think they had a Fritch then. It was Abercrombie & Fitch something. I bought those shirts because everybody was getting them, and I would get extra large. And they were a little bit larger because that was a style. Just watch Seinfeld. And I wore extra large sizes. It shrank. That was my excuse. That's what people wore back then. MC Hammer, CNC Music Factory. All right? So I left in 1998, I think I was a large, and when I came to Japan, my style changed to normal. So I'm a large in Japan, but large for the shoulders, but the length of the shirts are not long enough because they're made for somebody 170 centimeters and narrow shoulders. So I get extra large sometimes, but it's made for somebody with a larger stomach, so it looks a little bit lot of movement in the front. So it's hard to find a size for me for shirts. For pants, I'm a large, but the waist is too big because I got really long. Everyone says Japanese. I'm gonna do an episode on this. What Japanese compliment me on? It's sometimes very cringy. All right, I'm gonna save it for another episode. The first couple of years I got to Japan, I felt extremely uncomfortable with the compliments that I received from Japanese. I thought it was inappropriate, but I never really got offended. But it is what it is, and I'll make another live stream on it. But one of the things is that I have really long legs compared to Japanese who have lower waists typically. You know, this is a population of homogeneous people, most 99% Japanese, so most people are quite similar in body structure and in shoe sizes. They don't have size 28 centimeters with this, which is 10 and a half. 28.5 is what my 28.5 centimeters is my feet size. Very hard to find in Japan. It's getting easier. But I used to have to order it from the US and send it by Amazon. Before that, my parents would have to send it. But shirts are hard. Pants are a little bit better. You just have to get a belt. I'm large, but medium would probably be better, but they're not long enough. There's no medium tall. But the sizes are changing. Montbell usually has Western sizes because they're starting to branch off internationally. And LL Bean has US sizes, but they're starting to make it more Japanese sizes. So you have to check the label at LL Bean here. And the Konami here, just for your notice, looks like it's deserted, so could be a zombie town. All right, I appreciate it, guys. It's too hot. I'm gonna get inside, get back to work. Wonderful episode in Hiroshima yesterday. I highly recommend that you check out that live stream I did yesterday. It's okonomiyaki. I followed it from the start to here's the finish. But I got permission to film them making my okonomiyaki on the grill from the pancake, from the start of the flour pancake to the final result. And when you watch it, you'll probably be able to make it yourself, but they're really good at it. This was about $8, and it was so good. That was yesterday's live stream. Oh, sorry. That was yesterday's live stream. I highly recommend that you check it out because Hiroshima is freaking awesome. Sign up for the bus tour and see you again tomorrow. Mata ne. No typhoon here. We made it. No more updates on typhoons unless another one comes our way and then all bets are off. Oh my gosh, typhoon season, Japanese summer, it's a combination. Mata ne.